An interesting case study is ZTE Telecom. There's this excellent journal, Foreign Policy, www.foreignpolicy.com. If you work in this space, it would be well worth your time to follow foreignpolicy.com. If not, subscribe to it. They do some serious research in international relations. One of the products you can see here on the screen, the long and short of this is that the Chinese state owns ZTE Telecom. Okay, so the Bureau of Industry and Security in the US added ZTE and 3 affiliates to the entity list during an investigation of the company's business in US sanctioned territory. ZTE does work with Iran and North Korea. Okay, and look at ZTE entering into a 1.19 billion civil and criminal settlement with BIS, OFAC and the Department of Justice, etc. The order was triggered in April 2018 when the US government determined that ZTE had made false statements to BIS. In June 2018, another $1 billion, and then ZTE agrees to hire an external compliance consultant for 10 years who will report not to ZTE but to BIS to make sure of how ZTE complies with US sanctions. And knowing how telecom technology is all pervasive, you can see why the US would be so stiff and determined in enforcing those sanctions. One of the violations of ZTE was the unlicensed re-export from China to Iran and North Korea of items subject to the export control regime. The company obtained some of the items via isolation companies. They had other third-party companies to buy product from the US, incorporate them into ZTE's product and then export them, which talks about the complexity of supply chains. Yeah. This might have been new and unique when first done in the case of ZTE, but now it's pretty normal. You can see other cases of action against US-based branches of Asian banks, US-based branches of Asian banks. So all these guys learned the hard way that having a New York branch means strict compliance, and failing which you will get nailed. In the case of North Korea, US actions have been against the Chinese Bank of Dandong. Now, Dandong is important to understand. It has taken action against China-based trading companies who deal with North Korea, individuals who acted as North Korean intermediaries, vessels and operators engaged in ship-to-ship transfers to disguise the transshipment of products into North Korea, and an individual in Singapore who was found to be a facilitator for trade with North Korea. You could Google on YouTube how a mysterious ship helps North Korea evade oil sanctions. That's a program called Visual Investigations by the New York Times. Using satellite imagery, shows you how a ship turns off its transponder and disappears, heads into North Korea, delivers stuff. Okay, fascinating one to watch. Some of these violations are intentional, others are failures to engage in robust value chain analysis.